Wetlands Commission to order at 7:32 on July, I think today's the 18th still. Right? Yeah, 18th.
Yeah.
18th. First order of business is Pat and William Williams, 465 Amity Road. Application for construction of a storage building in an upland review area. Anyone here representing those folks?
I'm here.
Okay, step up to the table if you will, sign in, and tell us what you're planning to do.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just sign in.
Sign in?
Sign in, and then tell us what it is that you're planning to do. Oh, so, let's see, Jean, we'll seek Jean for Bob.
I'd like to build a storage space for my husband's artwork behind the garage, as indicated on a plan.
Okay.
It's just heat and humidity controlled, no plumbing. It's just for storage of his artwork.
Okay, and the entry to that is going to be where?
Would be behind the garage.
Through the garage or around the garage?
It would be around the garage.
Okay. And just electrical from what you said?
It has to be heat and humidity controlled. There's no plumbing involved. We don't want any water in the building because of the artwork.
Of the artwork.
It's just for storage.
Looks, do you have based on the scale, it looks like about 50 feet to the wetlands flags? If the scale is about right.
If the scale's about right. I've been told some of the scales are a little off by the people that did them. And the one from the town was a little off on the big one that I have. So, the garage, I know, when I measured the garage myself back to the wetlands marker, let's see what it says here. I think the edge of the garage may also be, how far do you have to be, 100 feet?
Well, the review areas can be 100, up to 100 feet.
Up to 100 feet.
And we monitor pretty carefully the 50 feet.
So you're saying from the marker that the gentleman put in, it has to be 50 feet from that marker?
Well, we'd like it to be 50 feet. It looks pretty close to 50 feet to me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it wouldn't really come out much further than the garage. And the reason I wanted it back there is because it's the most unobvious place. No, it's really sort of tucked in. I happen to enjoy all my neighbors, and I don't want to infringe on their what they're looking at. And behind the garage, it's sort of just tucked in, and I think it's really not going to be as visible as anywhere else on the property.
That area today has, is that lawn area back in there?
Back there now, it's just trees, some forsythia. It's pretty plain back there.
So what kind of trees are you going to be taking down?
Well, there's two big ones right that back up to the garage, and then there are a couple more down to the right. Basically right behind the whole area is empty except for right up against the garage, and we lost some of those trees in a storm, and we were advised to take the rest of them down because my insurance isn't happy that one of the trees fell through the garage and they had to
Oh.
fix it. So they suggested we take the rest down anyway.
Is there any slope from this building down to the wetlands?
There's a slight slope. It'll have to be taken into account when the building, it doesn't taper down too much, but
This is going to be a construction, not a prefab.
I believe it's going to be a construction. See, this is what I don't know what I can do, so that's why I'm looking for help. Because I've never done this before, and I'm going to the, well, I had an appointment with the,
Planning and zoning.
I'm sort of trying to follow what, I'm sorry, my mind is missing his name right now. The artist.
Oh, Nick Weber?
Yeah. I haven't quite caught up with him yet, but I've been trying to go over to the foundation and see how they did everything. Because my intent in the future is I need to get my husband's work in a safe place out of New York City. And I want it all to be contained with his archives. Because his studio is now in Woodbridge. So I'm trying to sort of encapsulate everything. And I'm trying to learn as I go. So I'm a little bit of a novice at this. But some people have told me that it should be a concrete building. I don't know. I just want to know if I can build, and then if that spot is available, then I'm going to meet with some architects and have them figure out what the best thing to do is for artwork.
So, Chris, this would take a building permit, correct?
Oh, yeah, we'll
Oh.
definitely take a building permit. And
Yes.
the person to whom we were referencing in Bethany, where I happen to live, there's another artist's archives and whatnot up there.
Right.
Who was from the
Albers, Joseph
yeah,
Albers.
Joseph Albers
Joseph and Annie
Foundation.
Albers,
So,
right.
Mrs. Williams knows Nick Weber, who's in charge of that foundation, and so they were gonna try to speak so that they would have an idea, because his collection is kept there, and so hopefully it would be a good stepping stone to know what exactly to build.
And I have the guidance of Jack Reynolds, who is the director of the art gallery at Yale that just retired, and he's going to give me guidance because, you know, we've known him for a long time, and my husband went to Yale. He graduated from the art school there. So there are a lot of people that are on board with helping us figure this out. I just have to really figure out if I can build in that spot. If I can't build in that spot, then I sort of give up. Because there's no place else on the property I would build, then I'd look for a different building. But I would like to keep it all together.
Are you at all familiar with this, or do you know if Terry's seen the property?
Terry's been to the property on different occasions because of permits that were issued, yeah. The original house is an old house my father happened to restore
Right.
a long time ago, so I've got some links to this too.
And did a tremendous job.
Any comments, concerns from others?
What's on the other side of, on the New Haven side of the house? There's a big space that you say there's nowhere else to
See, well, I had to have septic approval for a second
put.
septic
that's why we have
system,
this-
so
this, Oh, that's what's.
I would never build anything in the upper yard, although I could move the whole thing down to the lower yard. That yard on that side of the house is sort of divided in two. One's higher than the other,
Okay.
and the other's a little lower. But
Yeah, on the street
as I
side,
said,
it's septic, I see it
I,
now, yeah.
I do,
Okay.
I do really appreciate my neighbors, and I would never build anything there because it just wouldn't be right. So the ideal spot is behind the garage. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll plan for something else somewhere else. But
I don't know if it said what is there a water course in there where the wetlands are, or is it just
Down
wetlands?
at- Underneath,
I have a little stream in the back that comes from the neighbor's yard that's about this wide. It goes from one side of the property to the other, and then out under my neighbor's road.
Oh, that's where the
On the right.
arrows are?
Yes, on the side.
Okay.
And that feeds down into the pond on the next people's property.
On the next people's property, but literally, it only has water in it in the winter till about, the end of May, and then it's dry from then until maybe October.
Um, I'm thinking that as long as this was like 50 feet from the wetlands flags,
Mhm.
it would be okay.
I mean, if you
Delegate.
have two choices tonight, you can either hang on to it yourself, or you can defer it to Terry as a duly authorized agent. I mean, I don't believe the slopes that are out there are very steep at all.
Oh, they're not
very
steep at
gentle.
all, no. On the other side of the yard, they're steeper, but on this side, on the side behind the garage, it's almost flat across until you get to the very edge of the garage, and then it slopes down a little bit. But my intention is, I mean, I've taken care of those wetlands since we moved here. I knew nothing about them, and my husband and I have restored as much as we can through Broken Arrow in different places, everything that should belong in there because it hadn't been taken care of for so many years. And there's a phenomenal difference, that's all I can say. For any trees we take down, we put trees up. So
Sounds like a fair exchange. I don't have a problem with delegating this to Terry.
Yeah,
The
as long
only,
as it's 50 feet, just as you said, it's 50 feet from the
I just
wetlands.
want, can we put into the delegation about a minimum of 50 feet?
Mhm.
That's the only thing, it can take care of any, it'll be through the construction permit in terms of any, soil that's dug up and
Right.
and that, and, so, a motion to delegate to Terry?
I move to delegate this decision to Terry with the understanding that the building remain at least 50 feet from the designated wetlands.
All those in favor?
Oh, who
Yeah,
seconded?
I'll second. Yeah.
Oh, second.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Four now.
So what will happen is you'll get a letter in the mail, or a permit in the mail from Terry, in about 3 weeks' time, because we have to wait a
I
2-week time frame.
understand.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, all right. So, just to make it clear to me, so the 50 feet's where David Lord put the
Mhm.
flags?
Right.
It has to be 50 feet from the flags.
Right.
And at least based on the drawing, it looks like you've got.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It looks like it, yeah, because I'm wondering about my garage, because I knew when we measured for the garage, I was like, how did they get to build the garage? But maybe it was 100 feet I was going by, so, anyway, well, thank you very much for your ear, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. You have one item that you need to add to the agenda, which came in on Friday. It's transfer of a permit and then a renewal of that permit. This was for 4 Lions Road, and it was in your packet.
Okay.
And it contains a letter of consent from the original permit
So
holders.
do we need a motion to add that?
Yes, please.
Anybody wish to make that motion?
Sure, I will move to, are we approving the transfer?
No, this is just adding it to the agenda.
Oh, we just added to the, okay, I move to add this to the agenda.
Second?
No, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, now we can address approving the transfer of permit. Any issues with this? Or
They
this seems
didn't
like
do
it's-
most of what they requested, so, and the new owners may wish to do not all of it, but some of it.
So, it's okay then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion to,
Okay, I'll make that motion. Transfer the
in a
permit.
second.
Yeah, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let me get caught up.
And just to be clear, that's also to extend it, cause it's almost at its expiration date, so it would just be a 5-year extension. So we'll include that with it.
Okay.
Interesting, having a meeting with background music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so the next agenda item is, let's go. Is 30 Hemlock Hollow. And is there anybody here for 30 Hemlock?
How are you doing? Okay.
Good. It is really good music.
So after
So-
you guys looked at it, what do you
Yes.
think?
Well, did you bring us an updated map as to?
I have, yeah, it's just everything that we, we looked at. We just, it's a little bit better than the other one we had.
Okay.
To start here, we just gave a number to each tree, and if we could, like, this is Hemlock Hollow, so this would be where we started looking, and then we come into the yard.
Okay.
I don't know if you all want one or.
Yeah.
And then the two areas with the green is where we had talked about removing the brush and stuff that was there. Chris, do you want one?
Yes, please.
And the shrubs were is the green area where the shrubs were?
Yeah, those couple little areas that.
We discussed about not really removing those, but cleaning them up and maybe even planting more.
Yeah, if we could come up with, if we could trim it and see what it looks like, if we can, make it more manageable, just so she can have a view of the water.
Well, the important thing there was that it was on the bank and it was stabilized
Right.
on the bank.
Right.
So
My only
not want to
question
remove
with
it.
that was if we're just gonna trim it and leave the root structures alone, I mean, so we're not gonna go in there and remove the root matter that's holding the bank. I mean, eventually they're gonna grow back.
Well, but you're not going to cut them to the ground.
No, not the first area where we had looked when we walked down the driveway.
Right.
They're not. I mean, there was some boxwoods and other stuff there, so that stuff we'll cut it down to about a foot or so.
But as I recall, there were azaleas and rhododendron.
Yeah, there was no rhododendrons. There was if they are azaleas, they looked. I don't really know what they were, and then there was that one decorative pine, kind of was bent over. That one she'd like to cut right down to the bottom, so it exposes those bigger rocks that are there.
How about the big tree that was there?
The one that would be the trees number 2 and 3 on there. She's agreed to upon if you don't find that they're can be removed, if we can just trim those.
I think trimming is okay.
Okay.
I would not want to remove the fairly substantial tree with
Right.
a substantial root system that's holding that bank up.
Okay, so those two we can trim. Obviously, the number 1 tree was that dead birch tree that's
Right.
leaning right out, so that one we can remove.
I think anything that's dead.
It's that, yeah, that one was.
The question is, do you want to replant something in there or at least shrubbery to?
I don't know if she financially can do that right now, because she's a little strapped as far as. I mean, Chris knows more of the matter of what happened with the house and everything. She's kind of in a pickle, so she's just trying to get it livable where she can at least mow the grass and have no safety issues. So we have that second area of green was right in, like, out her front window there.
Right.
So that, there was a few trees there that, you know, she'd like to take right down so she can see into the water. And then I'm trying to convince her to get some low growing shrubs that we could maybe put in there afterwards. And then that was also where all that debris was dumped into the water, so we'd want to clean all that.
Cleaning it out.
Yeah, because that's where that pipe, they put that pipe in.
That's where the drain pipe was.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to put maybe some riprap in there, or?
I can cover the edge of the pipe with riprap if you'd like. I mean, there's enough stone on site, we can come up with something, and then if we have to bring in enough you want to riprap the whole face, the slope?
Well, no, just enough to prevent any additional erosion.
Erosion, yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to go.
Yeah, I don't see, could we, yeah, we can just do that corner there where the pipe came out when they had disturbed to put the pipe in. Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
And then, as I recall, there was just a bunch of stuff to get cleaned up around the house.
Yeah, and then as we went, you know, the trees 4, 5, and 6 were the ones behind the fuel tank, and then there was the bigger one that was in the tucked off more into the corner. Her concern with those 2 trees is where it's placed behind the fuel tank, because she's just worried that if they do come down, they're going to land on top of it.
I think taking those out probably is a reasonable thing. I
Okay.
certainly don't want a fuel tank.
No, not if we
That's
don't
the
want
propane tank.
Yes, 1,000-gallon propane tank. And then the number 6 was the one tree was down in the corner, and there was a small. That was the one you had asked. Everything that's leaning towards the water will stay. She just wants those broken ones that are on the outside to remove.
Anybody have any issues with that? I mean, it's. Any comments?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by she wants a clear view of the pond. I understand what you're saying, but again, what does that entail? I mean, what are you gonna do?
No, we're not gonna remove. She just wants to thin out. Make it presentable. That's all she's basically looking to do. There are some bigger trees there now. Well, they're not. I mean, they're. I would say they're 3 to 4 inches. That she would just like to remove. There's actually in that cluster we looked at. There's only 2 of them, and then the low-lying stuff. That would all stay. She just wants to get rid of the bigger ones.
Trying to remember the smaller trees.
What you don't want to see is everything stripped all the way down the bank.
No, I'm not. No, we're not gonna. No, I'm not.
Well,
It's not going to be a clear cut, so you can definitely see the water. It's just going to be a couple of those. I'd say they're about 15 feet high right now. So that would be the ones that you'd want to take out, and then the lower stuff we can leave so it holds the bank.
Chris, question. Could we do like you're going to do this on a specific day, it's probably
We would do a planned, scheduled day to have the trees removed, yeah.
Is this something that we could do as a pre-construction meeting?
Yeah.
That
So I mean, we could meet. Someone could meet you out in the field before you do the work, just to re-verify what's going to happen.
We could. That would work with us. That's fine.
How do we set that up?
Is this something? I mean, there were 3 of you that went out to the site. I don't know if Jean got to go independently or not.
No.
So would one of would either you or Barry be able to go, or I mean, I haven't been out to the site.
This is something that Terry would do, or that we would go with Terry, or we would go?
It could. Somebody who knows which trees you're talking about to begin with should go out. I mean,
they're all marked right now.
Are they all marked?
Yeah, they were marked.
yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I'm comfortable going out. I don't know when Terry's going to be
Yeah, back.
back.
I guess the thing I would like to do is sort of have the marked trees recorded,
Okay,
and then somebody come by afterwards to make sure that what was marked is what was
Right.
removed.
okay. So you don't
Right.
necessarily need a pre-construction as much as a post, or do you wanna have a pre just to make sure we're talking about the same trees coming down?
Yeah,
And then a post just to make sure that
Yeah.
that's what got taken down?
yeah,
Yeah, we can do that.
just to
Yeah.
avoid what,
A repeat, yep.
Believe, I don't wanna make any trouble, I just,
well, that's, I want to avoid,
yeah, I don't wanna
I want to
be,
avoid the trouble.
I don't wanna be in trouble,
And if we
I
can
like
do it with
living, I
a-
like
So,
working here,
you know, any day that you need me to come, you know, I'm normally here and we'll just go over.
So
and
you want me to just come here, or you want me to set it up the day before, or?
just give me a call and I'll shoot over when you're there, and then
Okay.
after you've done the work, I'll come back.
Okay, so, yeah, cause it,
So we put that in as a condition on the permit?
Yeah, that there will be a pre and post clearing or work sessions.
Any comments from anyone else?
So just to make sure in my own mind, 9 and 8 and 7 on this, you don't have any issues with them?
No.
Getting to end it?
I don't have any issues with that. I don't
you
know.
were, that was the,
That was all that stuff way in the back.
yeah, the broken top,
Yeah, that
okay.
was-
And
so it's
and
not-
anything that he's taking down, we're taking down to stump level, we're not stumping.
No, stumps are staying, all the stumps are staying.
Okay, so 9, 8, and 7 are to be removed,
Yep,
Right.
and then 6,
there's a-
5, and 4 are okay to remove? Those are the ones
those are the ones behind the tank.
Behind the tank, and those were marked at the time,
Right.
as I recall.
Yeah, actually, I think the one that we looked at there, it's a cluster of trees.
Yeah.
And it was just the smaller ones on the cluster that were leaning in. The bigger tree, I believe, is gonna stay.
Okay.
Okay, so we can look at that in the field. And then on the second green area, if I've got this, this is where you wanted to remove 2 trees that are about 15 feet in height, and
Yeah.
then leave all the low-lying vegetation that's
Yeah,
there to
there's
hold the
some
bank,
brambly stuff there.
and then you're gonna put riprap or something at the outlet of the pipe.
Yeah, because I mean, all throughout here, there's been all kinds of debris when they remodeled. They threw in there, so
Oh, and that's right, and then that's the debris removal.
There's a drain in front of the,
comes off the corner of the house. It's
house.
actually a
There's a
drain.
footing drain that goes
Yeah.
out there? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's a driveway drain.
there's a
Okay.
driveway drain that's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So we're doing, is this where the tulip tree that got shoved?
No, it's
No.
in the back.
That's in the back.
Yeah, that's 8. That's actually 7, 8, and 9. It's that whole configuration mess.
And then on that first green section, just so that I've got it clear,
So it's 2 and 3.
2 and 3, you're gonna trim but
Trim.
not
Right.
remove. Number 1 is the birch that's dead, and you're gonna cut
Right.
that to stump level.
Right.
And that first area of green, you said there's lower boxwoods, and you're gonna cut those
yeah, it's
down.
all. It was planted years ago. It's all. No one's
Overgrown.
maintained it, so,
Yeah, so
I
just-
mean, we'll trim it to see what happens
Yeah.
to it.
And there was a decorative pine there that you wanted to cut down?
Yeah, it's someone had cut half of it already, and it's like covering up a rock, and she just like to expose the rock.
That's okay with you? Okay, okay, just so I know in my notes, and I can put this all in the permit.
Okay.
Okay.
All
And
right.
then the other gentleman that was with you, who was head speaker last time,
Yeah, Bob.
Bob, he had mentioned that the rest of the other side of the house, we're out of the wetlands. We're good with that.
Okay,
There's no problem with what she does over there where the power lines are.
okay.
Okay. Just want to be sure we're all on the same page.
Well,
Okay.
unless you're not gonna take 30 yards of soil out of there or anything.
No, there's actually right on the corner of the driveway. There's an oak tree there and 2 other small trees that are right in with the power lines. She wants those taken out, just for power issues.
So we need a motion to approve the permit.
Based on everything
based
that
on
I just
what
went
she
through.
did, and the
And the pre and
before-
post,
pre
yeah.
and post meeting. So, ready for a motion to approve the permit?
I move to approve the permit as described in the notes and to include a pre and post meeting, site meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All set.
That's
So,
it?
at
Okay,
your
so you'll-
convenience, just give me a shout, you've got my phone number.
Yeah,
It's on, I think it's online too, so.
Yeah, it's online, so.
It doesn't, could it be just like call you in the morning type thing, or?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
just
going
'cause-
anywhere. Once I'm here, I'm here.
And then how does you'll give us the permit, or we don't get
There'll be a
copy?
permit that will be mailed to her by certified mail.
Okay, alright,
Okay?
so it goes.
So she
yeah.
needs to sign for it.
Okay.
Just let me know it's okay to sign for it, cause some people get paranoid
Fair
and
enough,
think
okay.
it's something
Alright.
bad, but it's something good and you need to sign for it.
Alright, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the old business. Anything from our enforcement officer?
I don't think he had anything to report. I can report that his surgery went well.
Good.
And, he's here, I mean, he's alive, yay, and, walking, you know.
Great.
So, you know.
Did it fix the problem? Too
When
early
I
to
saw
tell.
him today, they were asking and, he can move his feet better than he could before, so that's good. You know, cause that was painful, he couldn't lift the feet at all, so there seems to be some success there, so. And he's looking forward to coming back as soon as he can,
Good.
but I told him, take his time.
Okay, we have a new copy of the habitat. And so we're down to the minutes. Any comments about the regular minutes, meeting on June 20th? I did not see any.
Yeah, I didn't see anything to change it.
Have a motion to approve minutes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve. That's right.
I'll second that.
Okay, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
It was cute on the site ones because I read Bob's note about not going out, so I assumed nobody went out, and then when I had him proof the minutes from the 20th, and he said, oh, you should do minutes from the 28th, cause 3 of us went, and was like, oops. So then that's why they say amended. Should never assume.
Yeah.
We do it at 7 a.m. or so?
7 p.m.
PM.
thereabouts.
Oh, did I do a AM?
AM.
I have you in the morning, oh my.
We don't get up that early.
I get up that early, but I don't remember doing that.
4 o'clock would be okay with me.
What's the asterisk there between was and commenced?
Oh, that's where
Oh.
I started changing stuff.
Oh.
Because I said in the original minutes that I filed that it hadn't occurred and that you were gonna go on an individual basis. So,
So do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the site inspection
subject to changing it from morning to afternoon.
with the PM.
I will make that motion to approve
Second?
the minutes of the site.
I'll second.
Okay. And all those in favor?
Aye.
4-0 approved. Anything else
Nope,
that has?
that's what I got. I did forward you all an email that I had gotten about a course that you can take if you want to. So if you're interested in all, just let me know and I'll register you.
Do you remember the date?
I don't off the top of my head.
I'm interested.
I think it just came today. I think it was a Sunday or Saturday. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it just came in the last couple of days. It's in August.
Yeah. So, you know, if you just review it, if you wanna do it, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you're registered. It looked interesting, so.
Tuesday, August 14th from 9 to 12 p.m. 8:30 to register.
It's not a Sunday.
Are we a CCN member?
The town is, yes.
It's free.
Okay, but I should still register you, I guess, if I have to. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll double check and email.
If that's all, then we just need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.